I'm not here to tear down reporters who, report. But sometimes I think when articles are uploaded and people read them and take it as this grand piece of news that they haven't heard before, it kind of irks me. Not because it's not true. The report that I'm talking about here is probably true. It's just that I said this a second after we beat the Chargers 63-14 or whatever it was. It is not rocket science to figure this stuff out, guys. And all I have to do to figure this out is watch the games and give you my honest opinion of it. Roll the tape.
If we beat the Kansas City Chiefs next week to go to 7-8, I don't know how you deny him the coaching job.
It is true. If Antonio Pierce, who is what, 4-4 or 4-3, he's at least 500, wins this game against the Kansas City Chiefs, he is without question the head coach of the Las Vegas Raiders next year and probably for multiple years to come. And I've said I have no problem with that. Here is the ultimate conundrum that we're in. The players are playing super duper hard for Antonio Pierce, which means they want him to be the head coach. Does that mean he's the right guy for the job? Well, let's think back to Rich Bisaccia, who everyone and their grandmother seems to think we should have hired. I am still of the mindset that I wasn't sure about Rich. The reason I wasn't sure about Rich is because we played multiple games where we got our absolute ass kicked. The Kansas City Chiefs destroyed us. Now, we salvaged the season at the end of the year. We won 4 straight. Some weird games. But we made it happen. And Richie B deserves a lot of credit for that. And we almost beat the Bengals in the playoffs. They clearly loved him. The players clearly love Antonio Pierce. The difference here, I think, is that I could see a noticeable difference in the effort level with Antonio Pierce taking over. I'm pretty sure that the players liked Gruden and played hard for him as well. I mean, we were 3-1 before the Gruden stuff started to happen. So it's not like we were terrible and then fired Gruden and then Bisaccia came in and saved the season. The season was already kind of going in a decent direction when Bisaccia took over. Antonio Pierce came in and literally salvaged what was left of a good roster in order to stay competitive and enjoyable for Raiders fans to watch. And I think that's why Antonio Pierce, to me, is a more legit head coaching candidate than Rich Bisaccia ever was. And I do think one day Rich will be a head coach, and I'm hoping for it. But Antonio Pierce has clearly done something up here to the players that's given them the ability to play at their absolute peak. That does not mean he is good at scheming up game plans to beat opposing teams. The defense has clearly improved under him and Patrick Graham. The offense has been hit or miss with Bo Hardiger taking over. Now, Bo is in the booth, and we like to joke about Raiders coordinators on the field versus on the booth. There's no denying the fact that he went up in the booth and our offense exploded. And there's no denying the fact that as soon as Patrick Graham went up in the booth, our defense exploded. So this game is crucial. Can we stay competitive? That's the key here, because if we stay competitive, he probably still gets the job. If it's a one-possession game with 2 minutes to go, AOC throws a pick or whatever, and we lose, whatever, you know? Obviously, I'd like to win the game, but it's going to be an impossible environment to play in. If they win, they clinch a playoff spot. Like, for God's sakes, this is a huge game. They only have 9 wins. It's not like they have 13 wins. They're playing for seeding for the division here, too. If we go in and win this game, Antonio Pierce is the head coach without a doubt. Aiden O'Connell is a different story. I don't think there's much Aiden O'Connell could do to not have us draft a quarterback, unless we get into the playoffs and make a run. However, I saw a lot of development from him last week. He was letting it rip. He wasn't thinking. He was just boom, boom, boom. And I think that if he can continue that, be confident with the football, don't be afraid, step up in the pocket, move around a little bit more. I've seen enough already, I've said this before, to at least give him a chance to compete for the job next year. I still do want to draft a quarterback because the more chances you have at finding your franchise guy, the more likely you are to find your franchise guy. Again, this stuff isn't rocket science, but this game is crucial to the development, to the mental toughness, to the scouting of our team next year. Does it all fall to shit, fall down, crumble into pieces? You know, nightmare before Christmas, if you will, and we just start over with Harbaugh or Ben Johnson? Or do we finally win the game that no one thinks we could win with a team that can compete with anybody. Shock the world on Christmas Day. Only time will tell. We're only a couple days away. I'll be in Vegas. So if you're in Vegas and you see me, say what's good. Unless we lose by like 50, I'm not making a video then. I'll make a video, but not in Vegas. Last thing I'll say, patreon.com/ALLaBorde Raiders. Check it out. Link in the description below. You get all this crazy new stuff I'm trying to work on for you guys. Sign up. It's so cheap. It's not even funny. It's the Christmas season. Hop on board. If not, don't worry. Please be sure to subscribe. It is free after no charge to you. I love you guys, and I'll see you next time. Merry Christmas.